What is up, everybody? I am bringing you a brand new video here. This is the Bloomington Cat 4-5 mixed category race. Coming into this race, I felt extremely good. I was really confident. Last year in this race, it was the state championships, and I ended up taking third, so I know the course really well. I love this race. It's really fun. So if you look up at the map at the top, you'll notice there's two pretty long straights, and this is the back straight, and it's got a pretty long climb. And however, the climb isn't particularly steep, but because of the way the course is shaped, it's pretty short overall, so you do go up the hill quite a few times. This is actually one of the courses that I'm actually very comfortable on. I don't have too much trouble with that hill when I'm in the race. So like I said, I was feeling great in this race. I knew that these Bloomington cycle guys were going to just try and launch guys off the front over and over because they had the numbers in this race. I think they had like 8 or 9 guys in this race alone. You can see all these guys right here are Bloomington cycle riders, in fact. So my plan was to just stick on them and try and find the guy that I knew was going to be able to make a break stick. So you can see we're coming into the end of the first lap here. We have a nice little technical section on the back half of the course. And then we come onto the finishing straight here. And the finishing straight is almost all downhill. So you really ramp up speed coming into the first corner. The first corner is super wide. There's no real road hazards as you come around the corner, so it's really nice. So this is a couple laps later, and we're still in the lead. Like I said, I was feeling very good. So as we went up the hill here, I noticed we were just kind of, the guys up front were kind of slacking. So I decided, hey, why the hell not? Let's put an attack in. So I put in a pretty good effort here up this hill, and around the next couple corners, I do manage to get probably 4 or 5 bike lengths on the group, and then one of the Bloomington cycle guys actually ends up on my tail, and I figure, the two of us can maybe break away. This was only about 10 minutes into the race, so we would have had to stay away for about 30 minutes, which is a long time, but I knew the rider behind me, and I know he's a strong rider. I honestly think we could have done it. But right about here, I look back, I'm, taking a pretty long turn at the front, so I come around this corner and I signal the rider behind me to take a pull, and he's just not having it. He doesn't want to. He doesn't think the brake's going to stick, so he's just kind of on my tail covering the move to wait for his teammates to bridge back up to us. So at this point, I just kind of stopped putting in too much effort into this brake because I don't want to waste all my energy. We carry our speed through the corner here, and I checked back again right before that corner. I saw a third rider coming up to us, so I just kind of slowed down a bit and let that third rider come by, and it's my buddy Hugh. He had an incredible race day. I think he took 5th in this race. He won the 3-4 race, and then he was able to upgrade same day and took 12th in the 1-2-3 race, his first 1-2-3 race ever. So props to him. Super strong rider, super nice guy. So this Bloomington cycle guy that just came around me is the guy that was behind me, and so we just kind of all came back together. And you can see here we're carrying our speed into the front straight again. I believe those two riders that are in front of the two in front of me are lapped riders. So we're coming to this corner pretty hot, as you can see, about 32-33 miles an hour. My plan was to carry as much speed as I could through this corner, and this guy takes out 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. I was 3rd wheel that time. So we go down. Honestly, I probably, if I really tried super hard, I probably could have avoided that. But I saw the two riders in front of me go down. I was moving at a real good click. I didn't have a lot of time to react, and so I just ended up grabbing my brakes. Probably a little too hard. And my back end slid out, and I just kind of went into the ground. At this point, I think we're maybe 15 minutes into the race, so I know that I can get some free laps. I can get my bike fixed. Right about here, I realized that my rear tubular tire just came off the wheel. I don't know if it happened as I went down, or when I impacted the bike impacted the ground, or whatever. But I noticed the bike is okay other than that. So kind of on my way up to the uh, neutral support tent. It was kind of a long walk. We have to walk all the way back up the finishing straight, which this way is uphill. So at this point, I'm a little shaken. You know, this is one of the races I felt that I could do really well in. My buddy Hugh, that I was talking about before, he was also involved in the crash. He's okay as well, except his rear wheel was actually not tacoed, but completely S-shaped. So you can kind of see people are noticing that we had crashed, and it was actually rather embarrassing, well, at least a little embarrassing. My entire right ass cheek was hanging out of my shorts at this point, as well as a little bit of my butt crack, and I was not aware of that until after the race. And you'll kind of see that while we're waiting here for the neutral support. So we finally make our way up to neutral support, right up there, that red tent. And at this point, I'm like, hey, I need a wheel, I need a wheel. So we get up there, get our stuff as fast as we can. These guys are awesome, SRAM neutral support, some of the best help around. They've helped me all season long. So right here, we're getting a new wheel. I'm just kind of waiting, watching these guys go by. Luckily, I do get my free laps. I know I'm going to have to be chasing, but I figure I'd rather be chasing the lead group by a couple bike lengths than just be out of the race. You can kind of see. Actually, you can't. My knee is a little cut up. My left elbow is pretty scraped up as well. And there you can kind of see my shorts just torn to pieces. Yeah, real good shot right there. So he's checking over my bike, making sure everything's working. He says it's good. I ask about the front wheel. He tells me it's okay. So I say, all right. He gives me my bike back, and in just a minute here, you'll see that we are getting ready to jump back into the group. And so right here, I'm getting ready to jump back into the group. I do miss my very first clip in, so I get a kind of a slow start, and those riders right there that just flew by is the lead group. So you can see I'm not too far. I'm actually in pretty decent position. If I can get up to those guys, I'm back in the race, and I can do what we can. This rider in the red is also in the lead, and I believe these two riders to my right were lapped riders. So at this point, I'm just trying to get up to that lead group. My hip is killing me. My elbow's bothering me a little bit. But I just figure if I can just get back up to those guys, I can rest and not have to do some work for a while. So I'm putting in some pretty hard efforts, 600-700 watts up these hills, just really trying to bridge up to the lead group. And for the most part, at least to me during the race, it didn't seem like it was working. And it was really hard to just focus on racing when I was in, the pain that I was in. And it wasn't terrible, but it was really hard to just kind of get my head back in the race. But I just had that bait in front of me, so I just wanted to catch those guys. And so I was really trying as hard as I could to get back up there. You can see here they're kind of pulling away a little bit. I was kind of using this back half to try and rest, but when you're chasing the group, it's kind of hard to just try and get a rest in when they're really pushing the limit. So I come around this lapped rider here in a minute, and we're bombing back down the hill. And honestly, I didn't really have any fear about this corner after we had just crashed in it. I've taken this corner tons of times, in races and outside of races. So I really was, comfortable as you can be, I guess, in this corner. So I just tried to carry as much speed as I could, because I figured if I can carry a bunch of speed up the hill, maybe I can bridge up to those guys. Eventually I catch up to this guy, and him and I are kind of working together to, again, try and get up to the lead group. You can see them just up ahead of us. He goes ahead and tells me to pull around, and we get two more riders catch up to us. And at this point, I'm saying, all right, we got a decent chase group going. If we can get this chase group organized, if I can hold on, we can catch up to the lead group. And you can kind of see here my efforts are starting to fail. They do slow down a little bit up through these windy corners, which gives me a little bit of an advantage because I'm so comfortable on through this course. I know where I can carry speed and stuff like that. So I do start to catch back up to them, but at this point, my hips really bothering me. I got just my head's kind of out of the race at this point, which is really a shame because honestly, if I would have focused a little bit better, I probably could have still had a decent position. But you can see that chase group is just a couple bike lengths ahead of me, and I do end up catching onto the back of them again, right here. And again, you can see just a couple bike lengths ahead, and we come around these next few corners, and they just start to pull away from me. And at this point, I was really frustrated again. My head was just out of the race at this point. I knew I had another race coming up later in the day. It was the 3-4's race. So I kind of just wanted to get myself back together and, check over things, make sure I was okay, go over to the medical tent. So actually, the lap after this, I did end up pulling out of the 4-5's race. Was a bummer overall that happened so early into the race, especially in the position where I was in up front of the race. But, it's something that happens. You just got to deal with it. So I will be bringing you the 3-4 race later. Hope you guys liked it. Remember to subscribe. Thanks.